One is mistaken who places their house, car, or financial investments as their most valuable possession. The Stoics reveal a profound truth. The most precious treasure we possess is actually time. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, a Roman statesman and historical philosopher, left us valuable teachings about the art of living well. In his moral essay, On the Shortness of Life, he reminds us of an undeniable truth. Our most valuable and least renewable resource is time. To fully enjoy our existence, Seneca urges us to be eternal students of life itself. Let's explore 10 fundamental principles extracted from his writings that will guide us in the wise and meaningful management of the time granted to us. Seneca's teachings emphasize the importance of cherishing time, urging us to be constant learners and to manage our time wisely for a fulfilling existence. Following Seneca's wisdom, the key to a fulfilling existence lies in understanding time as our most valuable asset and strategically managing it. Seneca, through his timeless wisdom, encourages us to live intentionally, valuing each moment as a precious, non-renewable resource. Number 1, value time as a commodity. Seneca suggests that many people are frugal when it comes to protecting their personal belongings, but when it comes to wasting time, they are extremely extravagant. We're talking about something that should be treated with moderation. Seneca warns that we don't value time as a precious resource, even though it's possibly our most valuable and least renewable possession. Imagine seeing someone very wealthy throwing money in the air on the street. You'd surely consider that person crazy. However, we see ourselves and others wasting something much more valuable every day: our time. The amount we have is uncertain, but it's certainly limited. It's clearly more absurd to waste time than money, because unlike money, we can't get more of it when it's gone. To realize the value of 1 year, ask a student who failed a grade. To realize the value of 1 month, ask a mother who gave birth to a premature baby. To realize the value of 1 week, ask an editor of a weekly newspaper. To realize the value of 1 hour, ask someone who just missed a flight. To realize the value of 1 second, ask someone who survived an accident. To realize the value of 1 millisecond, ask someone who won a silver medal in the Olympics. While the amount of time we have is uncertain, one thing is certain: this time is limited, and death waits for the time wasters. Those who assume time is cheap because when used wisely, it becomes an amplifier, but when spent without consideration, it becomes a persistent source of regret. Number 2, beware of modern world distractions. Seneca lived in a very different time from ours, yet he recognized the power of distractions. Nowadays, we live in a world even more saturated with distractions. Smartphones, social media, constant news updates, and other technologies can easily steal our time and attention. Often, we end up spending hours scrolling through endless feeds or watching meaningless videos online. To optimize your use of time, it's essential to be aware of these distractions and take steps to minimize them. This could include turning off unnecessary notifications on your phone, setting specific times for checking emails and social media, or even taking regular digital breaks to disconnect completely. Remember, the time you spend consuming irrelevant information is time you could be using to focus on your goals, interests, and meaningful relationships. Number 3, don't invest all your time in the future. According to Seneca, those who dedicate all their time to their own needs, planning each day as if it were the last, neither long for nor fear tomorrow. We're all guilty of spending too much time preparing for the future. Seneca urges us to live in the present, to not postpone our happiness, and to not think that happiness lies in the future. Our future is uncertain and beyond our control. The future life we work for might never arrive. We're so busy and concerned about the future that we often let the present pass unnoticed or unappreciated. And then, when we're old and on our deathbed, we finally realize how short and valuable life is, and we're filled with regret for not fully enjoying it when we could. Imagine being in the middle of a desert, dying of thirst, and you come across a stream of water, but you're not sure when it will stop flowing. Wouldn't you drink as much as you could, just like water? We should make the most of our time, make the best of our present. Your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond deserve to be planned. But don't let them take the precious present away from you. You can only live one moment at a time, and you can only live once, so choose to live in the present moment. Number 4, make long-term rewards immediate. According to Seneca, postponing things is the greatest waste of life, as it steals each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising us the future. The greatest obstacle to getting started is expectation. Our need to procrastinate is strongest at the beginning of work. Even if you've eliminated all distractions and are ready to begin, the allure of finding an excuse to do something easier is still very strong. The challenge lies in making that initial effort less unpleasant. The key here is expectation, what we yearn for when we want to postpone something that will benefit us. This is the gap between immediate impulses and long-term rewards. The reason it's often hard to start something is because there's no expectation of an immediate reward. Sometimes the reward is years in the future, but there's an immediate reason to start. For example, if you're procrastinating by watching YouTube videos, you can make a deal with yourself that you won't allow yourself to watch YouTube until you've completed a certain amount of work. This way, you reward yourself for completing the unpleasant task. Number 5, stop wasting your time. As we learn from Seneca, if people want to know how short their life is, they should reflect on how small a portion is actually their own. We're all guilty of spending too much time on trivialities. More and more of our days are spent staring at screens, scrolling through status updates. How often do we find ourselves dedicating our time to purposeless things? Beyond the pursuit of financial and social gains, casually playing a video game with no particular merit is wasting time. Time you could use to develop a useful skill, exercise, enrich yourself with literature, art, or music. The same can be said for social media and other forms of entertainment, especially social media, which are designed to consume your time. If people were coming to you all day asking for $20, you'd turn them away. But throughout the day, people come to you in person, by phone, email, or even text message, asking for your time, and often we comply without thinking, wasting our time on things that don't add real value to our lives. The idea here is to start evaluating carefully how you're spending your time. Think about your daily activities and ask yourself, is this really important? Is this leading me to where I want to be? Is this contributing to my happiness and well-being? If the answer is no, consider reducing or eliminating those activities and redirecting your time toward more meaningful things. Number 6, maximize your free time. As Seneca says, it's not that we have little time, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and it's been given to us generously to achieve great things, as long as it's invested correctly. We all work hard to gain 2 things, money and free time for leisure. We work 8 to 9 hours a day to earn free time, yet we waste this hard-earned free time on irrelevant things. Like drinking at a bar with co-workers or friends, watching TV shows, or simply chatting with the water cooler. Stop and say no more, wasting the free time you worked so hard to earn. Even if you enjoy your daily job, try to minimize the time you spend working extra. You'll never get those extra hours back. They're gone forever. You could start a reading group at work that meets during lunch breaks, at weekends, or in the evenings when you have ample free time. Make the most of this free time. Meditate, read, exercise, write in a journal, anything that adds value to your life. If you want to rise above mediocrity and start living life, then begin to make the most of your free time. Number 7, live life for yourself. You shouldn't think a man has lived long because he has white hair and wrinkles. He has not lived long, just existed long enough. We all have specific things we want in life, whether it's a dream job, dream home, or dream relationship. However, most of us don't even come close to achieving many of these things because we're stuck in a job we hate just to pay the bills, or with a partner we pretend to love because we don't want to be alone. We let life lead us, and in today's world, so much comes at us that we deceive ourselves by saying we don't have enough time to try new things. Being busy with things we don't enjoy is the biggest distraction and leads to living a mediocre life. We go through life day by day, fulfilling our obligations, but we're absent from ourselves, confusing doing with being. The best way to invest your time is by investing in creating a life you love. If you don't know what you love or want, ask yourself these questions. If I had more time, what could I do? If I could change something now, in my environment or in myself, what would it be? You might end up realizing you want to change jobs, get in shape, or pursue a new hobby. Number 8, dedicate time to reflect on your past. Seneca informs us that life is very short and full of anxiety for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Time is divided into 3 parts: the present, which is fleeting, the future, which is uncertain, and the past, which is unalterable. Modern teachings on time management tell us to focus on the present with an eye on the future. Everyone focuses on the uncertain and transient, yet Seneca tells us to pay attention to our past. If we want to extend our life, we must be self-aware enough to remember the lessons of our past and be more effective today. When we stop and think, when we examine who we were in the past and what made us become that person, it's quite enlightening. Reflecting on the past and introspecting benefits the soul helps us be present and understand the changes that have occurred within us. It gives us a clear and focused insight into who we are today and who we want to be tomorrow. It also helps us take responsibility and control of ourselves and our actions. Sometimes it's hard to see how far we've come, especially if we're accustomed to comparing ourselves to others. But dedicating time to reflect on the past gives us space and time to see how far we've come in life. Number 9, practice premeditation of evils. As we learn from Seneca, while we waste our time in doubting and procrastination, life goes on. Procrastination occurs when there's a conflict between immediate gratification of impulses, like doing nothing and wasting time, and long-term commitments, like completing a sales report. Often, the immediate wins, which psychologists call temporal inconsistency. While doing meaningful work over the years is more important to most of us than procrastinating, the human brain is biased toward what's here now. Seneca, however, offers an effective and simple way to combat this: premeditation of evils. The idea is to ask yourself before doing something, what could go wrong? It's a form of negative visualization. Once you've identified distractions or problems, you can plan solutions around them. By preemptively setting a time, place, and suitable conditions, you can avoid the pull of immediate impulses. If you prepare by scheduling in advance what you want to do and commit to it, you're 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through. Number 10, live each day as if it were your last. Seneca reminds us that we're not aware of the length of our lives and that life is long enough for those who know how to use it. Instead of thinking of time as something distant or limitless, we should embrace each day as a unique opportunity. Living fully means valuing each moment and being present in everything we do. Don't let worries about the future or regrets from the past prevent you from enjoying the present. Embracing the historic philosophy of living in the present moment allows us to maximize life and make meaningful choices about how we use our time. In summary, Seneca's teachings on time management remind us that time is our most valuable and non-renewable resource. We should value it, make wise choices, and be mindful of modern distractions that can steal our time. Living fully requires a combination of self-awareness, proper planning, and focusing on the present. By adopting these principles, we can maximize our time and live a more meaningful and fulfilled life. If this video was valuable to you, please leave a like as a token of appreciation and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content from historical wisdom and ancient philosophies. Share this knowledge with your friends and family, so together we can build a more meaningful and enriching life. Thank you for supporting the channel, and see you in the next video.